first view out the window, like 10 minutes after I arrived in space aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia. Someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Bob, look out the window." Just telling you about it right now sends a chill down my spine. When you look down on Earth, the first few days you're looking for your hometown. When you find your hometown, you call a crewmate over and say, "Look, there's my hometown." And after a week, you're aware of your continent, North America. And even that goes to the back of your mind after a couple of weeks, and you're just aware of one humanity, one civilization, and that we're all connected. The view of the planet below really changes your perspective of what the world is all about, what humanity is all about, and what the top priorities are.
Countless stars, countless stars.
My first flight was in 1996 aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia. We performed 43 different experiments. The medical experiments were, number one, focused on better understanding how the human body changes in weightlessness. We are adapted through evolution to living in a 1G environment here on Earth. But if we're to explore space, then we have to understand what weightlessness does to the body. The cardiovascular system becomes deconditioned. The wall of the heart, myocardium, becomes thinner. The heart doesn't contract quite as well. Muscles atrophy and lose strength. Bones lose calcium with time spent in space. Again, the body in its wisdom is getting rid of that excess robustness and structure that it no longer needs in a weightless environment.
Countless stars, countless stars.
On a sunny day here in Jasper, we look up and see blue sky all around for 360 degrees. And we would be forgiven if we think that if there's one resource that Earth has that's unlimited, it's our atmosphere. No. From space, you look at the planet, and it's just a tiny, thin veil of atmosphere around the planet that is protecting us against the hard vacuum of space, extremes of temperature, the ionizing radiation. If you were to model the Earth as a basketball, then the atmosphere that we have is like one thin layer of tissue around the planet that's protecting us. And every astronaut, the first time we see that, we go, and we want to come back. We want to tell that story.
Countless stars, countless stars.
When you're aboard the space station, you're not that much closer to the stars and the Milky Way and other galaxies than you are on the surface of the Earth. We're only 400 kilometers closer. So there's not a whole lot of difference of the sky view from space versus on the Earth. There is one difference, though. And that is that in space, from the space station, stars don't twinkle. On Earth, when we look at stars, there's an atmosphere between our eye and the star. And as the atmosphere moves across our field of view, there's slight changes in density, and it causes this phenomenon that we call star twinkling. Well, of course, from space, there's no atmosphere up there. So a star is just this steady beam of light with no twinkling.
Countless stars, countless stars.
Astronomers are those scientists, philosophers who try to answer the big questions that society has. Where did we come from? Where are we going? What's the nature of the universe? Are we, humanity, alone in the universe? Astronauts are the people who are interested in getting out there into space and exploring. And astronauts believe that the Earth is just a cradle, and that someday we will explore the inner solar system. Someday we will populate other heavenly bodies, and our great-great-grandchildren are probably going to go interstellar as well. So that's what we do. We're the people who push the buttons and turn the valves and get the spacecraft out there to explore and satisfy our curiosity about what's out there.
Countless stars.
I'm Canadian, of course I was asked to operate the Canadarm2, Canada's contribution to the International Space Station, and we did some interesting robotics work to birth new spacecraft to the station using the arm, and also to continue some of the assembly work on the space station. The experience of the International Space Station and hopefully international venture to explore the moon and Mars again is an allegory. It's a metaphor for how humanity should work here on Earth as well. We just have this vision that we want to extend human capability in space and inspire the young people and encourage society to take on the tough challenges on the Earth.
Countless stars, countless stars.
In the early days of the space program, all of the astronauts and early cosmonauts were the same. They were all male, Caucasian, military test pilots. And today, because of the broader spectrum of activities that we do in space, astronauts come from a variety of professions: scientists, engineers, medical doctors, aviators, even recently school teachers as well, from a variety of nations, cultures, and ethnicities, and religious beliefs, and political ideologies, and ways that you solve problems. And we all have to come together to rally around the mission objectives.
Countless stars, countless stars.
I think what was influential for me was the mountains of the West. And any opportunity I had to climb a mountain, to get up high and then look down, that was an opportunity that I chased. I'm a child of the 1960s and 70s, and it was a marvelous time to be young then. Things were moving fast on a number of fronts. In 1961, the first human being flew in space, a short one-orbit trip, and 8 years later, 2 people walked on the moon. And I was impressed by those Apollo astronauts and by those early cosmonauts. And they got me interested in the notion of exploration and also the importance of science, technology, engineering, and math for my educational path and career.
Countless stars, countless stars.
City lights look like diamonds that are scattered on black velvet. And city lights give us the impression of those parts of the world that are economically doing well. So I can, for example, remember passing over Italy many times, and the city lights at nighttime help to outline the coastline and the boot shape of Italy. But the lack of lighting can make you sad as well, because we pass over some regions of the world where millions of people live, and there's no lighting going on there. You pass over at night, and it's just a desolate, dark blotch of despair down there. And it really tells you that the rulers of those countries are harsh. They're ignoring the economic plight of their citizens. So that makes me sad.
Countless stars, countless stars.
My favorite songs are those that have the word sun or moon or Mars in it. The night that I was to receive the phone call to say whether or not I was going to be selected to the first astronaut corps or not, to calm my nerves, I put on, this is a long time ago, put the needle on the LP of Holst the Planets. And I thought if I got the phone call during the first number, Mars, that I was in. And just as Mars was about to end, the phone rang. So stars and the Milky Way, and wonder about where I fit in, where humanity fits in, where Earth fits in, has been part of my psyche since I was young, and thanks to my parents for exposing us to the outdoors and to the sky.
Countless stars, countless
have this desire to keep pushing Canada forward in space exploration. It must be part of my DNA, I'm not sure. But the next big venture in space, the ultimate destination, the dream, is Mars. I really believe that in the next 15, maybe 20 years, that we will have human beings walk on the surface of Mars. To see whether or not life existed on Mars at one time, to study the geology of the planet, to see how that implicates or impacts the past, the present, and the future of Earth's planetary evolution, and to see whether or not Mars could someday be a safe second home for humanity as well.
Countless stars, countless stars.
Canada should lead the world in terms of inspiring us to take on these challenges. And one way we can do that, and one thing that I'm proud about Canada, is that we're a world leader in dark sky preserves. So this wonder that I experienced as a child when I looked up at the sky and I saw the Milky Way and I could try to identify the constellations, we're trying to find places within our country and encourage other countries as well to make sure that the young people and the public in those regions and those countries have the opportunity to look up and wonder about, where did we come from? Where are we going? Are we alone? And how does all of this amazing universe function, and what's our place in it?
Wandering